Welcome back, guys. Hopefully that was a little too easy. So we're going to go over 1 through 7. We're in section 40.1, and we're looking really at page 581. 582 is kind of where those questions are at, and then we're going to be moving on to page 583. All right? So 1 through 7, let's kind of talk through them. This should have felt familiar. Honestly, I'm hoping it felt too easy because what we did, we kind of mirrored what we did in the video earlier. So hopefully that felt comfortable for you. So in the first one, they ask us for what's the probability that something has an attic. You simply add the two parts that are inside A, you get 0.52. Sorry, not probability. It asks you how many houses have an attic. That's 52 houses. Next one asks how many houses have a basement. That's 57. And it says, hey, what's the probability that it has an attic? Well, remember there's 100 houses, so this is nice and clean and pretty. We get 0.52, and then probability it has a basement, 0.57. What's the probability that it has both? That's that little overlap section in the middle. That's where that 23 comes in, so 0.23. And then number 6 asks us to write all of this in probability notation, which I'd already done, so we're good there. And then number 7 really wants us to kind of come together and look at what happens there. So the probability of the overlap, that's going to be where you add those three parts together, the 29, the 23, and the 34. That's where that 0.86 comes from, because that's what the overlap is. And it says, hey, what's the probability of A plus the probability of B? That's 109. Why is it different? Why is it bigger? We talked about this in the last video. It's because you're counting the and twice. All right, you're counting the and twice. When you count A, you got that little and part, and then when you count B, you got the little and part. So you're counting it twice. All right, and so that's where our addition rule for probability comes in. What they're saying is, hey, look, when you add the two of them together, if you get rid of the and, take one of the ands away, it'll be okay. And that's where our rule for probability comes in. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. We're going to work through questions 8 and 9 real quick together to make sure we're good, make sure we understand. So if you haven't worked 8 and 9 yet, or if you haven't looked at them, you can pause the video here, but I'm about to go through them. If you want to try and test yourself, you can do that. Number 8, it says, what is the value for each of the following? It says, what's the probability for C? Remember, with a Venn diagram, those numbers down at the bottom, that is all of C. Okay, so notice they didn't give us the little part. They didn't give us stuff up in the Venn diagram. They kind of dropped it down below. So when you see a Venn diagram like this is where C comes in, okay? That's all of C. So for number 8A, probability of C is 0.37, okay? Hopefully you can follow that. For B, it says what's the probability of S? That's going to be the 0.52 that's down there. So probability of S, 0.52, okay? And then what else do they give us? They give us the overlap. The overlap is 0.24. So for C, we've got probability of C and S, and that is equal to 0.24. The overlap is 0.24. Now, number 9, so that's 8, yeah? When he gets to 9, it says, hey, use this rule to find what the OR is. So the question in 9 is, hey, what is the probability of C or S? What's the probability of C or S? And that's going to be equal to the probability of C plus the probability of S minus the probability of C and S. And then all we have to do is plug in the values from 8. So we put 0.37 here, plus 0.52 here, minus 0.24 here. So 37 and 52 is 89, minus 24 is 65. So our final answer here for 9.65. So that means 65% fall in that CUS area. 65%, okay? What else does that tell us? Well, we know if this all right here is 65, that means this over here is going to be 35, okay? It means that we can solve all the missing values. And that's kind of the goal here, is when you see one of these Venn diagrams with a few markings, that you're able to actually find some more markings, you're actually able to fill it out. So that is 8 and 9. What I would like you to do is I actually want you to work numbers 10 through 14. That's going to be on page 584, 10 through 14. Let's take 10 minutes and then come back to me and we'll go over it. Thank you.